Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Cycles podcast with me, your girl Adiambo, Kisumu City. You're hanging out with me, Maeve Cheryl, and the lovely, twisted from here or there. Aisha, go first.
Hi guys, what's good? My name is Aisha Chwada, back on the podcast. Mnafaa kuwa mmenizoea by now. Yeah.
Resident Chansi.
Hi guys, my name is Hili Pepeno or Gathoni Pepeno. Do I need to introduce
Yeah,
myself
say
again?
what you do.
Okay, I am a food and lifestyle content creator.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be back.
Okay. So before we get into the episode, I really just want to know what has caught your mind over the past week or even as we have begun this week. So we'll start from Aisha.
I was at a very interesting concert, but I'm one of the few people that had a good time.
Mbona
So I don't know.
umeanza-
I don't want to speak on it much because then again, sometimes kama zako zimeshika, hakuna kitu inaweza kukuharibia. So me, I was sitting VIP, I was having a very lovely time, but I saw the threads on Twitter about Boys to Men. So I can't speak much. I'll keep my
Ukuchangia.
sentiments to myself. Mimi nilikuwa vibe.
But how would you rate your experience?
Gosh, I mean, I've had terrible experiences at concerts before, to be honest. So I don't have such high expectations. But given the amount of money we paid, I think we should have had a better experience, especially guys in regular. I don't understand why they would expect guys to be standing for that long. I would have hoped every single section would have seating room. That's crazy. I wouldn't even talk about the screens not working and everything throughout the major performances. Like, ikafika point ya maandamano, they're pointing to the screens, fix the screen. It was crazy. The rain, okay, but the rain didn't affect me or that. I don't know of anyone that's complained about the rain
So
because
some
that's
of
an
your rain
acid
ilikuwa
god.
ina add to the vibes.
Really?
Yeah.
What I missed, I was swaying from left to right with my
But
friends.
also it was an A-line tent, so I don't think they...
Because I was on the edge and I wasn't affected. I was on the
Lakini
edge.
swali muhimu ulitoka na mtu ama we ulienda tu hapo kunini?
Ama
Let
kuna
me
mtu.
tell you.
Ama ulienda na mtu?
Yeah.
No, sikwenda na mtu. I bought the ticket alone.
Ah.
I didn't even know who I was going to chill with there. I saw my friend, a DJ, Kabora. Shout out to Kabora. He had already fikaed. I saw on his story. I was just like, nikifika, nitakushow.
Nakuja, yeah.
So I knew I was going to find him there. Another friend of mine called Nikita as well. She was just like, umefika? I'll see you there. And we all knew her in VIP. Tukakutana tu huko. Went home. It is what it is. But I was so... When I got there, I couldn't find Kabora. I was just sitting on a random table with random people. I was just like... But I wasn't going to miss out on the experience for me personally. So I wasn't going to wait until I found a crew and then bought the ticket because I knew they were going fast. So
You're a better
I had
human
an
than
okay
me.
time. Rating it, I'd give it like...
A 4?
A 4.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, my expectations are so low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you weren't in regular.
No, I was in VIP. But also VIP felt very regular. It felt very regular. I feel like what VIP was...
There should have been a difference for the amount
There
of
should
money
have
you
been,
paid.
Yeah.
value for money.
Yeah, but me, I could see them. They were beaming, man. Ama zilikuwa zime nice. Or it was the lighting, I don't know. But they were beaming. They were looking good. Kina Sauti Sol as well. Me. Yeah, that was my week. And
I think definitely reading the commentary, the tweets, the DMs that people were sending, screenshots
go?
of... I didn't go.
Oh, okay.
But just reading about it, I really wanted to go. But
guys
last
didn't even
minute,
feel
last
FOMO.
minute gang. So I don't know, was I the only one hoping that there'd be a flash sale at the end?
oh my god.
And it didn't come to be. So I didn't go, unfortunately. But I enjoyed seeing that it wasn't all that because,
A lot
Now
of
you don't
people.
even miss out on
yeah, I'm just
everything.
like, yeah, thank God I
I
saved
feel like
my
that's
money.
usually majority of us who don't go for events. Just like wakiran tivo.
Yeah.
Kumbe hata uliwaste pesa.
And I keep saying itakuwa ya mwisho next time. Tutakuwa tumekaa hapa, I'm
Yeah,
telling you
yeah.
guys.
And I think
So-
that's what they take advantage of. Wanajua tu hata wakifanya nini. Bado next time wakitoa show sasa yenye regular ni 10k. Mutaenda.
Hey, but I saw a tweet that said now other like event planners have seen you guys mtatoa 8k, 15k, 30k, mgojei muone. So I think nitakuwa nimekaa nyumbani sasa. I won't be eating my Weetabix with water, by the way.
But who would make you pay that 30k?
Hey, 30k.
It depends. Now if they bring Beyonce, okay, no.
Beyonce
You're gonna
30K.
say
I'm
Beyonce.
But Sinani came, Chris Brown. If Chris Brown
Yeah.
came and tickets were going
But
to
I
How
don't
much
know
was
if
it?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I was
he
still
was in
high
Mombasa,
school.
but I didn't hear
Yeah.
it was all that. I also heard people were having issues at that particular allegedly.
But 30K, unless they're selling mad nostalgia.
No, those ones I think were
don't
like
know.
15 to 25. I'm not so sure. You know what? Wacha nisiongee mingi. But yes, he was at the coast. That one I know for sure.
I think I remember them saying there was a sound issue.
Yeah, there
With
was
his
the
mic and
speakers, and then there was also they had
singing.
one screen in the center that
Mhm.
everyone was supposed to,
Mm.
experience. So it was just
And then I saw that the one in Uganda was even worse.
really.
He went to
Ati-
Uganda.
No, Boys to Men, this one.
Ah,
That
okay.
so they performed before Sauti Soul and it was just more chaotic than it was here in Kenya.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so for me, my week
Mhm.
was interesting because yesterday, Kwanza, yesterday I was in the mirror and I was shaking my ass. My God,
That's
Why?
therapeutic as hell.
It
I don't
is.
feel people.
it is. But now in that moment, I was Megan the Stallions. You know how the way
Yeah.
she's shaking. I was,
Uh-huh.
this thing should be on a world tour, bro.
Yeah.
It's like
Nigga,
I'm denying the world
yeah.
some good stuff. Anyway, so something that caught my mind was that caught my eye was there's a boy who killed himself. This boy has got a first class. He got an A in KCSE, but he killed himself because he can't get a job and yani tu vile maisha iko. And now I had the conversation on radio and they were asking, Ati, is it a thing about our generation? I was just like, okay, first of all, that's a very wrong question to ask. But also, maybe it is a thing with our generation because I feel like everything is set to work against us. You see the way Kitambo, an A or a first class would be such an easy way to out of poverty, quote unquote, or out of your struggles. Right now, it's like gatekeepers wamekataa kutoka. You can toil and toil and toil, and there's really nothing you can amount to. So, to some extent, I really don't blame the guy.
I also
I really
think
don't
that
blame him.
we've had the same narrative for the longest time, not actively analyzing what's going on in the ground. Because it has that has been happening for a while now. There was also another story of a guy that was doing actuarial science at Nairobi University, first class honors and everything, and he couldn't get a job and he was homeless. And that story was put on news and everything. And I remember a couple of people were helping him out before that. But the narrative that getting good grades is all you need to succeed in life is still being taught to the younger generation now, despite the fact that things are totally different on the ground. So I just think we should start having a bit more candid conversations with people
about education not actually being the only way out of.
Yes, because again, there's so many people, and I keep saying this. I mean, go to Isli and listen to some of the stories of some people. Some are wamefika class 3, this, that, nini, but they have thriving businesses, and
Okay.
they're doing okay. So I don't think it's the only thing these days. I think it was a narrative that made sense a couple of years back,
But I feel like it
because
was
the job market was not
yeah.
as flooded.
true.
It really wasn't. Me, I'm listening to people going to university and they're like, what are they going to pay pesa kuka you in?
Imagine.
Wow.
And then now you look at how things are set up. This
Yeah.
finance bill that's coming. It's not meant for the benefit of
Yeah,
anybody.
actually, that's another highlight. I was
and
gonna
then
talk about.
it's
yeah.
us it's going to affect majorly because that'll be the norm going forward.
Yeah,
so
for
now
sure.
Sipstick.
unakaa hapo unangojea the day you buy your first car, the day you buy your first house.
And people are not making like if you start asking people maybe in their 30s or in their 40s when they bought their first car, they're like, it's totally different from people right now. Totally different. Even the financing is like everything is different, and I feel people need to start having candid conversations about how things have been changing.
No,
'Cause
I
it's
want
not
to
the same
put you guys on
narrative.
the spot. Siongelea finance bill. What are the stages of a bill?
We punguza.
Stages a bill goes through. Umesha sip coffee, so take us.
Our super pupil. You can.
we. Hata wewe.
Results zimetoka.
Sijatoka. Tuko na
You know, this is why
anxiety.
she's so chill.
Tuko na anxiety. Niko chill, siko chill.
Eh.
I'm faking
When
it.
are they
How
supposed
is
to
the
come out?
feeling? Like
I
how?
don't know. I'm just there. Because they had said zinatoka last week. Sasa tumepanic last week, tumepanic. Yani unajua ile feeling ya ukidiscover umeachwa ama
Yeah.
umechitiwa
What?
ni the same.
Yesterday, I
Ndio.
was in the gym and someone said, "Wow, results are out. They're coming out today." So that feeling
Now
is
everyone, the other thing I hate is everyone has their day when yenye results zinatoka. And then everyone has a source. Oh my God, niliambiwa my uncle works G where results
yeah. So
zitatokea
everyone
midnight.
just propaganda.
I mean, I
Your
just
group
know
chat
the
must
days
be
tatokea
popping.
tutajua. Tasikia tu chat haituli. But now
So is it like you see how we felt during KCSE? Is it?
it's the same and
It's the
nightmare. Mi
same.
kwanza niliota hii weekend.
Okay, you know we did KCSE in totally different years.
Schoolmate
So you
yangu wa
guys can
primary.
speak.
Schoolmate yangu wa primary akona 3 Ps. But she didn't do
Ah,
law. So I was just like, wow. Saka wewe akona 3. I didn't check. Mi niliamka hiyo ndoto iniondoke. But now we're just in limbo. We don't know when they'll come, but they come when they come.
Inshallah khair.
Nyamaza.
That
So you're talking
was
scared.
literally saying.
what do you mean, Ati? We did KCSE at different times. You didn't feel that?
No, even if
No, we did
yeah.
KCSE in different years.
But still, si feeling ni the
Yeah,
same.
that you're feeling.
Hmm?
You didn't
That
feel.
is something I will not speak about on air.
So now we'll move. Nafikiria mmehepa swali yangu, bro.
We watch.
Stages of a bill. Si mseme tu hiyo. Alafu ukipata shots on me. Short.
I'm
Aisha ko motivated
No,
sasa.
I'm taking medication. I'm betting on the other side.
Aya, sawa. Anyone from the audience who remembers what the stages of a bill are, just put it down in the comments, and then we get right into this the topic of the episode, which is social media. I just want us to unpack what social media has been to us, or what social media means to you. So my first question will be: has all of you here have a significant following on social media? I don't know how you got yours. I don't know if it's because of content. I don't know if you bought followers. I don't know if they're authentic and stuff like that. But has that social media popularity affected how you perceive yourself as a person and how you relate to people who are not as popular as you on social media?
Should I start?
Yeah, go
No.
ahead. No. Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, the amount of followers someone might have does
Mhm.
not speak to who they are as a person. Maybe they might just make sensational content from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's about it. I really do judge people totally differently on the ground. Has it
Mm.
changed how I see myself? No, not really. I actually think I have imposter syndrome and the like, because someone might be sometimes so excited and everything.
Mhm.
I'm just like, who, me? Shorty, me?
For sure.
Me.
Yeah.
Who the last time I cooked was God knows when, you know? So I was just like,
Mhm.
okay, cool. But I don't think it changes how I view people. It has not changed how I view myself.
Mhm.
Yeah, mimi niko hapo tu.
But do you think it has changed how people move towards you or move around you?
It's definitely given people a certain perception of me that might
Mhm.
not be the full picture.
Facts.
Only just, you know, one window, one side of the
Mm.
house. But kuna backyard, kuna kando hapo nini nini. Yeah,
Mhm.
so I have had a couple of people say, "Oh my gosh, I thought you'd be a snob. I thought you'd be a bitch. I thought you'd be stupid. I thought you'd be blonde."
God.
I get a couple of those, and it's not like they're trying to be rude. It's
Yeah.
just we have
Yeah.
Hey,
because I'm so
lakini
good at
yeah,
small talk and the
blonde.
like. We just end up talking about any and everything, and then they start telling me about first impressions. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. You know, just to know what you give off. But
Mhm.
But how does that make you feel like when you hear these things and
Yeah.
you hear?
I absolutely don't mind because it doesn't define the person I am. If you have a complete and wholesome experience around me
Mhm.
from spending time with me, and then you've made that, okay, whatever notion you've made, okay. But just something you've seen on social media that's actively curated by me,
Mm.
that's a you thing.
Yeah.
You
And
Hili?
that's on self-awareness.
It's taken a
Period.
minute, yo.
I would say that no, it has not influenced how I view people.
Mhm.
If anything, I feel like some people I have interacted with in the recent past or just in the past are not how they portray themselves to be. Like you could find someone is all about self-awareness, or like they seem really kind and all about loving people in the world, and then qua ground they are just
The
very different.
meanest,
They're
yeah.
about I can't talk to you because you're at this stage of you're a micro influencer and I'm a
Okay.
macro influencer.
Mm.
So I have experienced both sides, where you think someone is like this and then you find a totally different person, and it's in a good way. And then the exact opposite, where you find someone you think they're really nice, or that's the energy they give off, and then you meet them and it's just like, no, the vibe is not
I get
vibing.
it.
Can I say that?
I
Yeah.
get it.
In terms of me, so I'd like to separate the two, this girl Hili and Gadoni.
Mhm.
I feel like there's so much more to me than what I post.
Mhm.
I would say I'm very cautious also because I'm in the legal career. So there's only so much I feel like I can put out, because I also don't know where I'd like to keep an open mind where my legal
Journey will lead,
will
yeah.
lead me to. So until then, I'm very cautious about some things that I share. But I mean, we do get, it's just natural. I mean, even for yourself, we do get people who just judge you, or you perhaps have a resting bee face,
Mm.
or people who are like, I thought you'd be a snob. I thought you wouldn't say hi to me, and you
Mm.
ask why. Because maybe influencers just have a reputation for maybe not saying hi to just
People, yeah.
random people who follow them, right? Yeah.
Okay. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
has social media popularity affected me myself? No. Sometimes I don't even think
You're one of
it's
the
an
most down to earth people I know, to be honest.
Ninyo?
Yeah.
You're one of the most down to earth people I
Maybe
know,
we'll
to
treat
be
you
honest.
like you live down the road.
Like,
my God.
what? Yeah.
So for me, I don't think it's affected how I relate to people. I think I still stay goofy as well on social media. And I hear some
Yeah.
people come and tell me how sijui ukifanya hivyo unachoma brand. And I'm just like, relax.
That's
Before
yours.
the
It's
brand.
yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I have the brand. So
Yeah.
let me just be the way I am. And on what you said, I've actually seen it where you think people are what they've curated on their page, and then when you start interacting with these people, you realize they're very standoffish and all those things. But I feel like that's another war to fight
Yeah.
because
But then again, are they being standoffish or are they being protective of themselves? Maybe
Okay.
they might have had a very interesting like encounter some time ago. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because I ask. Me, I dig deep.
True.
I'm like,
True.
sup, shawty? I can kind
Ama
of sus.
amesetiwa up in
Yeah.
What's good?
this world of Edgar Barry where unaenda kuongea na mtu tu for the cameras and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
That
I
happens.
get it. Yeah. So nakuja kuongea na wewe tu for nini?
Oh my.
For content. Alafu
God.
unasikia,
Yani?
she's my friend, but let me tell you she's
Oh
so
my
good.
gosh,
Yeah.
the screenshots. Yeah, that's
She's
a
my friend,
crazy
but she
one.
borrowed me a 1,000 shillings. So
Eh.
it's just crazy. So, did you realize when your page was actually growing? Is it something? Because let's just be honest, I feel like a lot of people, or a lot of people our age or even younger, there's a very huge craze about social media following, and people even like a god or something. Like if you have 100 plus K followers and stuff, they treat you like a god-ish, especially high schoolers and stuff like that. So were you conscious of when your numbers were growing? Did you ever at one point do things to make your numbers grow and stuff like that?
My numbers initially catapulted because of Edgar Obi.
Yeah.
No,
She has
no.
been
Imagine
silent
sina
when the
beef
name
na
was
mimi sina
mentioned.
pressure. I had worked with a certain client that was doing something, and I don't know if they had an agreement or it was just something he picked up from a social media campaign and the like. But he posted the same video that I shot, and it was. He tagged me up with Chini, and then I just started getting crazy
Crazy following,
notifications on my phone. I was just like, what is going on? And then that's where I think it kind of started. But you know those Nini crazes Isha after like honestly a couple of hours because there's always another bigger story or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of those two. It was just a video. It was just a video.
You, Healy? Was there a specific point?
I think when I reached 13, 12K there, I was just, I think I was at, I don't want to mention the name of the place, but
Okay.
I was at a place and there's someone who came up to me and said, oh, I do social media management. I manage X amount of influencers. And they mentioned some of the influencers that they
You
were
look up.
working with. And then they said, do you know that this is something you could, tap into and monetize? For me, it was just, then I had a private account, but then with X amount of people that I knew. So it's something
You knew all
that seemed-
13K? You knew all 13K?
like most of them, yeah.
Funny thing, Healy was such a popular person on Facebook. Like when Facebook was Facebook,
Really?
yeah, poking ya nini. I actually remember you from those days.
Maybe
Healy was on
from-
everybody's. When it was zinaitwa walls, your time.
my.
Healy was on everybody's wall.
Nakumbuka your enzi.
Really?
I was such an
You were?
awkward kid
You
then.
really?
Wow,
What
yeah.
was your
I'm not
Facebook name?
surprised.
Yo, it was my name
Star
backwards.
girl,
'Cause I used to
Aisha.
work at YMCMB. Nicki Minaj was my mom. Lil
YMCMB,
Wayne
I
was
used
my
to work
dad.
at Uptown something. Everybody used to work at Uptown's Kitu.
Yeah.
Me, I worked at YMCMB.
Wow.
Me, I was
Hey.
Maeve Minaj, G, Sarabi.
I had a mohawk. I used to do the goth.
Yeah.
I
I think
don't
we
know
all
what emo
we
phase
had
I was
that.
going through.
Everyone had that phase.
Please do not go look
So
for
I'm
my
not
Facebook.
surprised you
Yeah.
were at 13K when, by the time, yeah.
Instagram got popular.
I mean, if I didn't know them, I knew they were mutual. So
Mm.
in that way, like I knew, but I didn't know.
Okay.
So that's when now it's hit me like, oh, okay, so this I can actually earn from this space. Um or people earn from this space. And then, well, I got character developed by the person who approached me.
Yeah, because I was about
But
to ask you how you verified the fact that they actually do manage said and so and so.
I think I really thank God for law, because at that point in time, I think we're doing contract law too. But just reading the contract, I was like, what is this?
Unasema
Like,
nini?
hii ni nini?
True.
And then it started to make sense to me that people do take advantage of influencers. Yeah, so but that's now, that at that point, actually, after having a meeting, the first meeting with person X, was when I made the account public. And then now, slowly by slowly, I would maybe try as much as I could to share less of like family, because it was more of Gadhoni
Yeah,
than
healing,
Healing.
yeah.
It was very like family friendly. I would put cousin, uncles,
Any
whatever
and
there,
everybody, yeah.
and I didn't care. And then now I started to get conscious, because also they came unsolicited opinions. Or if I post a small puppy love here, everyone is like, so what happened to that? You know, let's do a Q&A. What happened to this one? You know? So yeah, that was the defining moment for me. Yeah.
I think
And you?
mine, I have mine, and I remember mine was just, I think, last year. So I was coming from a relationship where someone was telling me the way not to post myself, because initially I was doing music.
Oh my god.
So my covers were
Online.
I got a following because of my covers and then my original music. So I was dating someone who was telling me not to post myself. So if you post yourself and you're in a relationship, what are you doing? Nini, nini. So I took it. I said, oh, so to make my boyfriend happy, I've stopped posting
Mkemwema.
myself. Mkemwema.
Oh, babe.
Naeka tu kwa stories zenye zinaweza disappear. Alafu
Yeah.
nikiweka kwa story, I complain natoa. So now this relationship crumbled. And then I
I
got...
swear, you know, sometimes how she says these things.
Learning curves.
Just in passing. So this relationship crumbled.
Uzuri nilishalia ikaisha. Sasa sahi
I'm
learning curves.
sorry.
Sasa I got into another one, and this person was the most supportive. Nini. So we
Yeah.
had gone for a getaway in Nanyuki, and then he just took pictures of me.
Aw.
And then that was New Year's. So I posted the pictures. Add on my number. Bzz, 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 bzz. I was like, yani kijana alikuwa ananiambia nisijiposti, nilikuwa nishafika hapa
Yeah.
kitambo. So that one picture was what catapulted everything.
Oh.
It got me to meet people I never thought I'd meet. It got to start the nini. So that's when I started to do the podcast consciously, because I was like, juu niliacha kupea watu mziki, nitafanya nini. So I did the podcast to actively now get the ball rolling further,
Yeah,
because
back in the zone.
as we realize now is that the space is something that you can actually now make money from, and now use it to do what? Manifest, or even just curate a life that you want to live.
Yeah.
So my next follow-up question would be now, because
Yeah.
your pages are popping, and I think it's a bit obvious why. You're a model, you're beautiful, you're witty, you're funny, all those things. Do you think pretty privilege exists? And if you do you think it's a bad thing or kind?
Who's gonna start? Should I?
Healy, go first.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I think it definitely exists. I think life is just fair or unfair, like that, depending
From
on
whatever-
on the side you're on.
Okay.
But beauty definitely lies in the eyes of the beholder. So what's beautiful to me or what's pretty to me might not be that way to you, and vice versa.
Oh, naosha. Kuna standard. You're beautiful in South Africa, you're beautiful in USA, you're beautiful anywhere you go. So
It does exist. Especially when you're on the receiving end, when you're the person in question receiving the benefit. It's amazing in that moment, depending on the situation,
yeah.
right? Can I speak for myself?
Yeah, speak for yourself, for sure. That's the best thing you can do.
I remember when I had just started driving and I would make like silly mistakes on the road. I'd just be like, oh yeah, officer, you know, nisame tu. He's like,
And you
vile
have that
tu,
voice.
yeah, wewe ni mrembo. Ebu, enda na usirudie, you know. So just go and don't do that again. I've had instances like that, or like where you're trying to pay for parking and maybe your note is not going through, and then just someone will be like, wow, you're so beautiful.
Let me pay for you.
Yeah.
God damn it. I'm okay.
And I should
Uko government office, the line ni mrefu hadi
Yeah.
huko. Wacha
Mrembo
wanakuona
aletwe
wanakwambia,
mbele kabisa. So,
fantastic.
I mean, it's good,
Mhm.
but then it can't be unfair if you're not, if
the-
you're the one being denied benefits or
Because you're
access to certain things.
Because you're not considered pretty.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aisha.
Will. I think okay, human beings have always appreciated aesthetics. Like you said, it's in the eyes of the beholder, but again, like she said, there's always a certain standard. I know for a fact beauty and aesthetics is a currency for women, just the way assets and provision is a currency for men.
Yeah.
All right. So even if you are an okay looking guy, I mean, in the 21st century, maybe okay. But if you still can't put anything on the table, there's no father that's going to give his child to you at grandkids watakapwa. So it's just one of those things. And it is a currency. People often do give other people benefits because of the aesthetics, sometimes consciously, sometimes subconsciously. But it's just one of those things. Inafanyaga watu feel poor. Even if you sit down with guys and the like, it's just like even if they don't expect anything in return, the ones that maybe buy you a drink or this or that, they'll actively just be like, I've contributed somehow
Pay your
to
rent.
that perfect aesthetic right there. That is that woman.
Or pay your rent.
Hey.
Or fly you out.
So it's just one of those
Manifesting.
things. I
Manifesting. I do agree with what all of you have said. I really do think it's a thing. And I think I've seen it play in my life as well. And I think it influences how you see
Tell
the
us
way.
how it played in your life.
No, I'm not telling you, my nigga. I'm not telling you. Alafu nichome.
tutaongea kando.
Tutaongea kando.
Tutaongea kando.
So I think nini, what was I going to say? Sasa hili ona Kenya umefanya.
Sorry.
Anyway, what was I going to say? I was saying I do agree with the fact that pretty privilege exists, and it's just the same thing we were saying about money. How money, and you've put that point across where you said it's a currency, and it's the same way money can afford you options. It's a way also pretty privilege can afford you options in who you date, or even how the type of type of treatment you choose to accept. Now it's like I was saying, hey, villain kombrembo hivi unanitesa kwa nini now talk out of a situation.
That's actually a thing.
And stuff like that. So I really do think it exists. Thank God for it, because those who are benefiting nicely, and it's fantastic to watch. It's fantastic to watch. And us who are waiting to benefit nicely from it, fingers crossed. Ndio hili.
Yeah.
Haya. So my
Manifesting.
other question now would be, what are your top 5 favorite things about social media? And then now we'll do the flip side. So each of you we'll do a back and forth in giving our favorite things about social media. So I will start.
Wow, I don't know if I have 10.
No, it's 5. No, we can do 5 total. A total of 5.
Okay.
It's no problem.
All right. I
So
think-
my first, the first thing I like about social media is that you remember at this point we used to give in primary school about the advantages and disadvantages of technologies. The world has become a global village.
Yeah.
If I want to reach Banner Boy right
hub.
now, you know,
Yeah.
You
if
just
I
need
want
enough
to-
people to retweet it and for him to actually see.
yeah.
Yeah.
And to tag him in your stories as much as you can, and one day
He will see.
Oluwa will know I exist. He will know I exist. So I
Yeah.
like the fact that it's made everything so small. Whereas we'd struggle. So you remember the story I told you about Justin Bieber's G? Someone came and sold us a fake Justin Bieber number and we were trying to call. Alafu before at a call, he ring credit
No, Maeve
Shaisha.
has actually seen it all. She's seen it all.
She's
She's
had
put her
experience
face
before.
in human beings.
Before, oh my God, that's such a strong thing to say, Aisha.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
is that
my
a bad
God.
thing?
It is. I'll tell you why. Not here. Maybe in the next
Okay.
episode.
Oh my.
Anyway, sasa
We all have somehow.
sai unajua unaweza call to Justin Bieber on Instagram, hata kama
Yeah.
atashika, it will interrupt his scrolling.
Yeah.
And he will know.
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay, maybe.
Kai, how many of
Maybe.
those do you think he gets in a day then?
I don't
That's
care. As
crazy.
long as he's seen mine. May have done that to Chris Brown. And then at some point when I went back to do it, alikuwa amedisable. So I was like,
Okay.
anyway. So I like the fact that the world is small like that now. You can communicate to people. We can collaborate with people from anywhere across the globe, which is nice.
Go.
Oh, should I? Okay. Mine is how you've ended yours. I love the fact that say for example, I'm really into plants right now, I'll find my plant community, whether it's someone in the
Mm.
Netherlands, someone here, someone there. So even if my immediate circle isn't necessarily is not into Harry Potter, I will find people that are into Harry Potter. Can you
Okay.
believe have you watched Harry Potter?
Yeah.
But see,
She's
we've
never watched
already
Harry Potter.
si tumesema tunasoti issue. She said she's
Okay,
going
I've
to have
not
a
watched Game of Thrones.
me too. I've not watched anything you guys have watched probably. She said she's holding a watch
Yeah, we'll get
umeita
there.
nini?
I don't know.
Watch
Watch
party.
party.
Like a watch
Oh,
party of
watch
sorts.
party.
You guys need to come dressed up as wizards.
Sawa. No problem.
Hizo vitu
Mko wapi?
Ah,
House of
hili.
Leather.
That's natural for you.
wanakwanga nazo.
Jokes.
The clocks, Lord Fetus.
Okay.
Aya,
but
tutavaa.
Yeah.
Tutavaa.
Speaking of, sorry to digress.
okay.
I saw there's an influencer who hosted a Ron watch party. I think it's becoming a thing.
Yeah, and there's
Hosting
also
watch
a
parties.
cinema, like a private cinema
Yeah.
in a mall along.
Nyumba.
Nyumba
It's called
Cinema. That's
Nyumba.
the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know the
tumefanya
amount of PR
free
we've given?
promo.
I'm telling you, that's why I was
Wakuli-
like
wakulipe.
filtering it.
Hata
But
tutamute hii part.
yeah, that can be a plan. That can be a plan because it doesn't have to start out at a big space, with
Yeah.
a big budget. But yeah, I don't know if you
Let me
guys
throw
would
this
vibe
back
with
to the
it.
audience. If you're watching and you'd be interested in a watch party, ni watch party am I watching?
Yeah, we need to
Watch
figure out
party.
the communities. Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell us what kind of shows or like gosh, what are they even called? I can't even call it like a trilogy. But series. You guys are, but not like a series. It is a series.
za movie ya kuisha.
Movie series you guys are interested in.
And then we can watch it together.
Yeah.
Haya. So who was talking? It was you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I finished mine.
You
I like the fact that I
finished.
can find my plant, Harry
Okay.
Potter, and Game of Thrones community.
Okay. You?
I would say I really like the how should I put this? The number of things you could learn on the internet, especially like when TikTok came in. If I don't know how to cook, there's
A page for that.
what's her name? Sue.
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 Yeah,
With
nikisikia hiyo
the
wimbo.
Shetani song, teaching us how
But
to
why
cook.
would she?
And actually, she's making money off
That's nice.
that the
That's
whole
nice.
the
But
whole
does she
training thing.
understand the pressure?
She sells recipes and meal plans for women who'd like to cook for
And
their
even
men,
utensils.
Monday to Sunday.
Ay,
Wait,
fantastic.
Yeah.
But she's selling recipes, but
So
also
what she
making
says-
videos. So,
so
recipes
she-
of different things.
So the video does not give you instructions; it just shows you
okay,
the
like
process.
the spices and
Like
whatnot.
she's just doing a recap
Oh.
or a day in my life kind of thing. And then in the comments, she writes that if you want
Want the
a meal
recipe.
plan or if you want recipes, here's the number. So she's been making money off that.
Mtoto
Other than
siku
that, like there's
mzima.
so much you could learn, whether it's I'm trying to dress up and I want a hack to hide, I don't know, my inner garments
Cellulite
or
all those
yeah,
things.
these hacks for that. Or my shoe has an issue. There's a hack for that. So I feel like the amount of things you could learn on the internet right now and social media especially is quite vast. Yeah.
There's one thing I love the most, and I think all of you will love this one, is the fact that number one, revenue. You can monetize your page, you can curate your page to make you money, and then the fact that middlemen are dying. So you as Aisha can reach Vaseline through a DM or can reach Nivea
my
through
God,
a
yeah.
DM. And then instead of having someone take a cut from the work you've done, you can have the bag to yourself.
Yeah.
This, I'm not saying it's easy like that, but it's doable. It's
Yeah.
doable. And I love that because now you don't have to get into silly contracts with people who are malicious and things
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
for brands, I think social media has been a very fantastic tool.
Yeah.
But now we move to the flip side.
One more that I love. I
Okay.
really love how creative it's made us. I don't think a lot of people would have realized or tapped into some talents or interests they might have had when it comes to creating content and the
True.
like. So we're such a creative generation. And it's not even our generation alone, but it's let people from different generations all tap into the creativity like that. So I
True.
think that's awesome.
And I don't, just to add to that, I don't know if it's just me, but since COVID, like transitions came in before. I don't know.
Yeah.
What
Oh my
what
gosh.
was
What were we
even a
doing?
thing?
We all used to use that sepia filter.
For
Yeah.
videos.
All our
Yeah.
photos were those combo ones like this.
There
Oh
was
my
nothing
God.
like
And it was like
CG Facetune. There
kissy
was
face, sepia,
CG
Facts.
Evo. Yeah.
CapCut.
Even
Those were
photography
not
wasn't as
things.
big. Even the
Yeah.
edits, nobody cared for all that.
Yeah, and then we had COVID. I think isolated people and all these ideas, thriller,
I'd love
TikTok.
to know how the sale of like ring lights just catapulted during that
Yeah,
time. What
yeah.
were
They were
things
never a
pesa?
thing
They were never a
before.
thing. Hata tulikuwa tunachukua
Y-
pictures aje
yeah.
bila lighting. So insane. It's so
Yeah.
insane. I like what you said. And also to supplement what you've said, I think the fact that there's options. So you don't necessarily have to be stuck on one social media app
Yeah.
because it's what is popping. You can have TikTok, you have Twitter, you have whatever works for you. So everyone, and then options in terms of you can leave your job and just start something on social media and it can become a thing and you
Yeah.
can
Sure,
live
for
off
sure.
of that. So
Ina
it's
depend vile utajituma manze.
Vile umejituma
So if
tu.
you give it your all.
so now we move to the flip side because again, hey, this thing that we love so much has become a monster.
Yeah.
And the fact, the one thing I don't like about it is, hey, it's killing talking stages. This one is,
That is
it's not
killing?
far-fetched. It's killing talking stages.
Okay.
Because when I'm doing my due diligence, I am going to find messy stuff on your social media. And immediately it's going to be a no. So whereas I'd have taken 3
So
months.
where you doing the digging? Out of curiosity, where are you doing the digging?
I'm doing the ding on your Twitter likes. If one wrong like
Is it
girl?
oh, it's
This is
so it's
a
everything.
recipe.
Yeah.
for
Imagine
heartbreak.
I just start from your following tells me enough kidogo.
I was
Yeah.
going there. I was going there.
Yeah.
So
You're
let me
following
ask,
as well.
let me ask, ladies. Is it a red flag if a man follows these common pages that we know that sell clothes? So I don't want to mention their names, but we know like the popular ones, the
I
controversial ones.
don't see a reason as to why you are following that and not Bossman. Or you're not following Divine.
Yeah.
I'm a Bossini. Fuck.
True.
Oh.
I
I literally have a male friend
Yeah.
that doesn't follow any of these pages. Shout out to you. I'm not gonna say your name. But whenever he wants
As a
to,
judge in the
oh, hi Frank, hi Frank. But he also, no, but he's an
Aisha.
amazing friend because he actively. Oh, sorry. He actively comes for help to like me or something whenever he wants to get something for his partner and everything.
Oh,
He
okay.
wouldn't even know how to
Partner.
maneuver those pages, this, that, ni.
Acha hata
So I'm just like,
kutuambia
okay,
about
that
him.
I get.
Acha hata kutuambia about him.
Also,
Akona
is
partner.
it a red
Yeah,
flag?
akona
If,
partner.
is it a red flag if man's is liking every other
Yes.
babe's
Yes.
photo? I think
Yes.
for me it is.
Yes.
Well, like, why are you there?
Yes.
You see
Why?
how does that mean that says you find his phone unlocked and you lock it for him? Hizo siangalia.
No,
Yeah.
Aisha,
Kama
hata
hiyo-
hiyo need simu yake.
Yeah.
Ukienda tu kuangalia nani.
And it's
ako
always the
hapo.
nigga you've started talking
Ukienda
to.
hapo, ako
You've seen
hapo.
sijui whose photo and others. Jina lake and others. Just like,
Hiyo
oh
ni
God.
uongo.
But I don't know. With that one, I don't feel some type of way, imagine. I don't know how to feel about that one. Me, it's who you actively follow. You've taken the time to follow unamwangalianga kila siku. Just like, okay. I wouldn't red flag is a heavy term, but I'm watching you.
Me, red
I'm
Yeah.
watching
flag.
you.
Go away. Yours? What's one thing you hate?
I would say the canceling culture or nature with social media that is there right now. I admit that no one's perfect, right?
Okay.
But there's this tendency, especially on social media, that if Healy does something and it's controversial and popular opinion states that I did wrong, I come out and maybe I take some time to process what I did. Before I'm even processing, I'm just thinking about it. Healy is cancelled. Healy is, we're
You've been
not
judged,
giving
yeah.
Healy another chance.
Yeah, room
And
for error and growth.
yeah,
is quite
and off
limited.
social media, we all make mistakes, right? We all say stuff that you wish you took it back, but there's that culture of no, she's cancelled. No, there's no opportunity we could give this girl because she said, Belinda from the down the road has a funny head shape, and maybe in that moment I could have been going through my own things. And even if I try to take it back, there's always that, so she's trying to prove, there's the reception from your followers or from generally social media. It's
It's
hard.
like it has a finality to it. There's
Yeah.
really, they don't believe you can come back from it. They don't believe you can take it back. But
Yeah.
I've seen
You're
this
not treated as a
exception.
human. You're honestly treated like an idol. One wrong thing, and you can just. And I see this a lot with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is the one that I think we can actively say we've seen have a couple of scandals and these cancel
Even
things.
Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah, to the extent it was just
Yeah.
like, I'm not apologizing anymore. Unfollow and this and that. It's fine. I'm a human being and I'm going to do that. And I feel like more often than not, people make that's the point in time when you realize so and so actually made me a role model for them, but I didn't ask to be that. I'm doing
Yeah.
my job, which is acting, stand up comedy, this, that. You decided to follow my personal journey on my personal social media. And now
And I like Amber
I
Ray
can't
for
be
that.
human.
Yeah.
But
I
you
really
like?
like Amber Ray for that.
Yeah.
She really just draws the line. It's like mnataka role models, kweni role models or watoto wenu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
that's
not
not
my
me.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah. For you, Aisha, what's the one thing you hate?
Ooh, I have to, but I'll wait for it to circle back to say the second one because that one is a bit controversial. The first for me is entitlement, I think. I saw this a lot with like reality TV stars way before like people started getting personal popular accounts like the Kardashians and whatnot, the Real Housewives and whatever. People used to feel so entitled to know everything just because you let them in on a couple of things.
Yeah.
So these days I see it a lot on social media as well. Like how, say for example, you make a personal choice to not post your child, but now you're getting DMs and whatnot for, oh, we were committed this whole time, ukibeba mtoto wetu, nini, tunataka kumuona. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
It's crazy how entitled people would feel to information or just your personal life. That I don't like.
And to that, even like someone's love life, if I used to post my partner and then now I'm not posting, are you people together? You know, the Q&As just tell it all. Are you people together? What's going on? Is he with someone else? What happened? Or let's say I used to always post my bestie Aisha here, and then now it looks like we're not going on coffee dates or wine dates. And so is there a thing with this
problem, yeah.
friendship, you know, so that entitlement? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but then again, on that scope, if because I've mentioned maybe like the whole story of Kevin Hart and like socialites that just have this particular thing. If I've actively created my not just on the flip side, just have the conversation. If I've actively created my platform from motherhood,
Sharing, yeah.
family dynamics, hominess, this,
Yeah.
that, don't I do you think I owe my audience an explanation as to why I will not proceed sharing information on this? Say, for example, home decor. If I've built a platform of 100,000 followers, like Studio McGee, they're way beyond 100,000. But if I've built it off that, and interior decor and everything, and I actively just stop, should I communicate with my following and say, I've stopped for this particular reason, or even just giving them the decency and the courtesy
Yeah,
to
yeah.
explaining I have.
I think at that point, I feel like you do.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do owe them because now, why did they follow you in the first place? I followed that page because I like this decor and whatnot and whatnot. So why should I continue following you if what I came here for is not? Unless now, of course, how you're expanding and I'm into that journey with you as well. But now, see, we've created a bond, quote unquote, an online bond, an online relationship. So you have an obligation to us who followed you by virtue of that to sort of not maybe now go into detail, but a
Yes,
simple
yes.
statement.
So the
would
courtesy
suffice.
is nice, but not people actively trying to keep reaching and whatnot. And screenshots kwa bare.
So I think for the most part, we could call it entitlement. But on the flip side, like you introduced us to this person, or you introduced and made this your love life, for
identity.
example, part of your content creation. And so we invested because we were watching,
they
and
invested as much as we
it was
have.
entertainment for us, we were part of this sort of, and then all of a sudden it's not there anymore. So I think it's also on the part of the influencer or the content creator, it's to know how much to tell from jump. I think that's important.
And also to just make it easier for you to avoid the questions of "Sijui what
Yeah,
happened."
for
Just say
sure.
a small thing and then vanish.
Yeah.
So I think I'll give one last one, and I think this one again affects all of us. Is I really hate that there's an algorithm that dictates if your content goes out there or not, and that now you have to not be authentic. You have to again curate yourself to something that you're not, so
Yeah.
that your content has a reach out there. So I feel like the algorithm, in as much as it's produced superstars overnight, again, which can be tweaked, I feel like it's such an unfair advantage. But again, we said the world is not fair. But I genuinely just dislike that the algorithm can change at midnight.
Yeah.
You've been doing something that has been working for
And
you,
now you need to
and now
change the
you
whole
need to
shebang.
change. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think those are. I think I've loved having this conversation with you, because now I've gotten to really see how you feel about social media, and I've also gotten to and I think I'm going to come for tips on how to make bigger bags on social media.
Please
Even
feel
you,
free.
Aisha.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for honoring my invite. Thank you so much for having
Thank
this
you.
conversation with me.
Happy to be back.
I would like the audience to tell us what are some of your favorite things about social media, and what are some of the things that you hate. Also, be sure to tell us if you want that watch party, Cindy, and
Yeah.
then
And what to watch.
and what to
are we
watch,
watching?
and whether we're dressing up as something or not. And there's one thing they were supposed to do as
You
well.
guys don't like playing dress up?
We do. Me,
Oh,
I'm
okay,
down for
okay,
it.
okay.
So, like, would you send someone back because they've showed up without?
Honestly, I've come to a point in time in my life I think I would.
Even if,
I've
but if they've
never
paid,
How do you
hosted a
say
they
it?
party.
paid.
How do you say it?
No, you
I
just put
strictly
you put bouncers
highlight it on the
nini.
nini. And yes, by the time you're coming in, you're
Yeah.
showing your invite to
Yeah,
someone, and they'll just be
yeah.
like, you haven't dressed this particular
If
part.
they've paid,
If they've paid,
will you refund them?
okay.
I feel like it's a whole other ball.
Okay,
game
I was
if they
thinking with
paid.
regards to a party.
If
Like
it's a
you're
party, you have
hosting,
by all
sort of
means
thing.
But
do
I
so.
don't know. Guys, just respect the dress code. Can we just all vibe
Yeah,
out?
please.
Can we just all vibe out? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, before this becomes
Especially if it's like very modest. It's not complicated, in short.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
just
God, ukiambiwa vaa all white, ama all black, ama.
usikuje
don't
na
come with
orange.
red.
But you guys are dressing like wizards. I'm sorry. I'll tell you to FaceTime me before you even get into the
to
car.
pay inspos na mood
Yeah.
boards.
Hiya, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I'll be sure to see you. But this is the last episode of this season. So I'll be sure to see you in the next season. It's bye from now.
Adios.